restless, we take our flight. Returning home, we find the light. Through infinity, we soar our hearts alive. Consciousness unites endless night. From dreamlessness, we take our flight. Returning home, we find the light, the light. We find the light. Ooh, ooh. Observer, we are timeless soul, particles in a dance making us whole. Awakened truth, no longer alone. The universe calls, answering its call. Through infinity, we soar our hearts alive. Consciousness unites and in us light. From dreamlessness, we take our flight. Returning home, we find our light, our light.
Los, 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 Attacke!
There's one rule that you might not be aware of, unless you are God up above. Man's game is innocent and even funny, a universe where ha 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 is money. Unto me out of this predictable earth, observe the soul waits for rebirth. Back to a place where the soul is free. Tell me, what do you see? Ha ha, they laugh at us in the ethers. Ha ha, observations from the bleachers. Ha ha, they wipe their tears as they watch us go round. But ha is the only sound. Observe humans in their natural environment. They say how they feel with the song and sermon. But once their feet touch heavenly ground, from the soul they bellow a heavenly sound. Ha ha, they laugh at us in the ethers. Ha ha, observations from the bleachers. Ha ha, they wipe their tears as they watch us go round. But ha is the only sound. Ha ha. Observe humans in their natural environment. They say how they feel with the song and sermon. But once their feet touch heavenly ground, from the soul they bellow a heavenly sound. Ha ha, they laugh at us in the ethers. Ha ha, observations from the bleachers. Ha ha, they wipe their tears as they watch us go round. But ha is the only sound. Listen to them now, wailing songs of laughter. Silence in space, laughter ever after. Break my laugh with a shooting star. A soundtrack for a game bizarre. They discover secrets in their laboratory, while we're up in heaven with euphoria. They're up on stage singing glory, glory. Oh, tell us that story. Ha ha, ha oh oh, ha ha.
Greift ihre Position!
They laugh at us in the ethers. Observations from the bleachers. They wipe their tears as they watch us go round. But ha is the only sound. Observe humans in their natural environments. They say how they feel with the song and sermon. But once their feet touch heavenly ground, from the soul they bellow a heavenly sound. Listen to them now, wailing songs of laughter. Silence in space, laughter ever after.
a man who was from crying in the sand. Like the blood of his kin, all has come to an end. Cause you are meant for more than what you understand. I have come to hold your life in my hands. I mean for more or less the same thing to happen again. I could suggest that there was even a chance, but know that there's something that has to end. And someone must carry that weight as a friend. So the story again ends. The meaning depends on what you understand. You can lose, you can win, but it all just depends on what my purpose is. So let's start again. And now you're doomed to be without the old man. Guess we'll live until then. Promise you with this, on the starless skies we live in. No songs for the fallen, no pride before the fall. No meaning in pretending you were ever here or anywhere at all. Trying to live by between the starless skies. Life is laid on like a pattern. The more they live, the more it shatters. Trying to live again, you're doomed to be without him. And I am the same, but I will die in vain. For you are now decided to become as I. We carry on the void inside, and when there's no one left, you die ends. Know that there's something that has to end without them as a friend. So the story again, so the meaning depends on what you understand. You can lose, you can win, but it all just depends on what. There's no one left, you die ends. No stacks for the fallen, no glory before the fall. No meaning in pretending you were ever here or anywhere at all. For the fallen, no glory before the fall. No meaning in pretending you were ever here or anywhere at all.
It don't matter that much, no it don't matter. It don't matter that much, no it don't matter. It don't matter that much, no it don't matter. Of the women and the wages, and the money and the men and the kids, and the crying on the table every night when none of it ever mattered. It don't matter that much, no it don't matter. And your blood's in the water, and you're wearing black shoes, and they tell you it'll wash away, cause it has to, because it's your job and your job is to fight. But none of it ever mattered. It don't matter that much, no it don't matter. It don't matter that much, no it don't matter. It don't matter that much, it don't nothing. Oh, see, it's nothing. Oh, it don't matter that much. No, it don't matter. It don't matter that much. It don't matter that much. No, it don't matter. It don't matter that much. Don't matter. It don't matter.
Ay, 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 ah. And all the men and women merely players. Can you see it? They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts. It's only getting better, so watch and learn. And let me tell you something, yo! Are you listening? Can you see it? 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 Coming, don't you see it? You will when you let go of everything you know. Yeah, you will when you let go of everything you know. It was always better in the end. So all I can say, friend, all the world's a stage. Hey, all the men and women, guys, hombres, las mujeres. All the world's a stage. 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 Hey, all the men and women, guys, hombres, las mujeres. All the world's a stage. 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 Oh, the world's a stage.
Has anyone seen my tight face? I made a shitty story and this boring story is old. The window's open and the curtains blowing so close to the door, 'cause I'm going outside till the rain falls down. I'm stroking my hair 'cause I'm touching the ground. I'm glad we're done. Happy endings for the happy. Ding-a-ling. Big souls don't wanna go on. La 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 la. Don't let them top us and take us too far away from you. You've been killing me now that we understand. Don't let them, let me linger in the fabric of the universe. So close now, 'cause I'm going outside till the rain falls down. I'm stroking my hair 'cause I'm touching the ground. I'm glad we're done. Happy endings for the happy. Ding-a-ling. These souls don't wanna go on. La 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 la. Don't let them help us and take us too far away from here. You're burning and killing me now that we understand. Don't let 'em let me linger in the fabric of the universe. So close to go, 'cause I'm going outside till the rain falls down. I'm stroking my hair 'cause I'm touching the ground. I'm glad we're done. Happy endings for the happy ding-a-ling. Ding souls don't wanna go on. La 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 la.
In shadows deep we wander near. Chains of life they disappear. Unveil the path to endless day. In darkness night won't have its say. Through the veil we are set free. Bound to one in unity. Death will break the coldest chains. Light beyond the earthly pains. Hearts beat slow and silence calls. Mysteries where twilight falls. Guided by the stars to roam. Released at last we find our home. Through the veil we are set free. Bound to one in unity. Death will break the coldest chains. Light beyond the earthly pains. Hearts beat slow and silence calls. Mysteries where twilight falls. Guided by the stars to roam. Released at last we find our home. Through the veil we are set free. Bound to one in unity. Death will break the coldest chains. Light beyond the earthly pains. Infinite we take of light. In the universe of light. No more sorrow nor disguise. Spirit soars to endless skies. Through the veil we are set free. Bound to one in unity. Death will break the coldest chains. Light beyond the earthly pains. We are all just quantum matter. Little bits of cosmic touch. Little crawly microorganisms. Nobody cares if we get squashed. We are little purple people.
You know, I saw recently there's some white nationalist saying he wants to fight a war with China, right? He's like, this is going to be the greatest race war of our generation, a war with China. Now, I could sit here and debate this and fight with these people and whatever, or I could just be like, go ahead, go volunteer. When the Chinese go to Taiwan, create a neo-Nazi unit that travels to Taiwan to defend freedom and democracy in a race war against China. Go and do it. You're just going to die. Because that's exactly what happened to all the Ukrainian Nazis that for a literal decade war, starting in 2014,
Oh, I remember.
were stalking me and trying to dox me and trying to put like funny cartoons, making nasty little cartoons about me. And I wasted years debating and arguing with these people when lo and behold, all I had to do was wait them out for them all to be killed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So guess what? Darwin will punish you for being stupid. Darwin will punish you. I'm not going to punish you. Darwin will. I'm not going to persuade you. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm just going to sit here and produce the truth, which is my job as a political analyst. Okay? What is true and what is false? People that don't have the time or don't have the resources or the capabilities, they listen to me to take all the information out there, distinguish from all the fake stuff, which is 90% of the information out there, pan it out, and give them the gold nugget of truth.
Yeah.
Okay? You can take it or leave it. If you want to volunteer, if you want to get back into the U.S. military, when they start the Neo-Confederate unit or whatever, and go there and have like bodybuilders, blonde hair, blue-eyed Abercrombie and Fitch models storming the beaches of Iran. If you want to do that, be my guest. You're still going to lose because history at this point is demanding that the American empire is going to collapse. The only reason that they are now counting on these rightoid types is that they have nothing else. They've used everything else. Now they're just fighting with a stick. You're the stick. If you want to be that, be my guest.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true. All you have to do right now is nothing. I thought that this would be very easy since this is the favorite thing of right-wingers, doing nothing. I was like, they can't fuck this one up. Ultimately, I think the doing nothing approach is going to win. Even no matter how much they try. This whole thing, you're going to get Elon Musk, Zeke Heiling, and you can go hang out with Minchus Moldbug and all this stuff. It's all for nothing. Okay? The American and let me explain one more thing. Because ultimately people will say, well, how does Russia and China winning, especially China because they're not white, how does them winning the Cold War with America or the Hot War with America benefit the white race? And it's very simple. The Chinese system is a racialist, civilizational, nationalistic, and socialistic system that is designed to preserve the Han race above all other values. If that system is able to defeat the American evil empire of Mongrellia that says no, open markets, race mixing, and Zionism are the best system. If the Chinese nationalistic socialistic system wins, the whole world will simply be forced to default to copy the Chinese system. Okay? It's that simple. And that system is objectively more likely to preserve a European majority than the American system. That is objectively true. It's not even debatable.
This is what Hitler said about his fight with England, particularly. Emily and I did a big breakdown recently, a few weeks ago, on Hitler's one big speech on plutocracy. It was given in 1940 when Germany and England were at war, and I think it was after France was knocked out. And he gave it at this armaments factory, and the whole thing's up on YouTube now, and it's one of the greatest speeches he ever gave, because it's everything he says is very relevant to the modern day, because all he's doing is attacking British plutocracy. But he specifically says, like, they can't allow the system in Germany to be successful, because if they do, people around the world will start saying, why don't we try that? And people in England and America, it's funny because and
that's what they're doing with China, where everyone is wish casting about the imminent Chinese collapse. The only reason they're doing that is that every day that China thrives is discrediting to the Western Judeo-liberal order.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's fundamentally parasitic. I mean, that's the problem with this Judeo West is a parasitic system. It's parasitic on its own people, and it's parasitic on the world. And China's system is, at least in a basic sense, productive. It's a productive system. It's a productive economy, as opposed to something that is just cannibalizes itself, liquidates itself. Let me ask you this: what are you seeing as far as the big priority here? Like, the thing we were all kind of anticipating was what Trump's going to try to do is hit Iran, make a deal with Putin, or make a deal with Putin, hit Iran, and then pivot really mainly to the competition with China. Do you think that's still what they're going to try to do?
I think all the way up to like 2 weeks ago, they were planning on hitting Iran fast. And I don't think they're doing that anymore. I don't know if they will. They're going to eventually try to do that, I think. But the strategic calculation has changed because
of what? Because it's not going to be, it's going to be harder for them to make a deal with Putin?
Because they assumed that they would be able to peel Russia and China away from Iran. And so far, that hasn't played out. So, like I said, Trump's Trump and his people, their diplomatic approach, what they're counting on is that they can split China from Russia, that they can split even North Korea from Russia, Iran from China and Russia. They're counting on that, and I don't think it's going to happen. And so if that doesn't work, I think they're just going to throw in the towel. They're just going to put everything into solidifying the control of Monroe Doctrine Americas and simultaneously pouring everything they can into saving Israel. But aside from that, like, for example, I think that we might, under Trump's presidency, if he pushes the Chinese far enough, we might see the Chinese go into Taiwan without any problems. Like, America's not going to do shit.
Yeah, he specifically invoked manifest destiny.
Yes.
In his speech. And they're really banging this Panama Canal thing, and Rubio's saying they're totally serious about it.
Yeah, I mean, they could objectively hurt China by taking over the Panama Canal and not letting them use it, because then there's no way to get through the Americas.
Right.
It would, but at the same time, it would force China and Russia to consider building another Panama Canal in Nicaragua, where they have their ally, Ortega.
Right.
So that has its own challenges,
Trump said in his speech, the United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons, Trump said, adding, and we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars. But, I mean, that's a big deal, invoking the phrase manifest destiny. I mean, that's very...
I have to say, though, a lot of paleocons are like, oh, man, the good old days of white supremacy and manifest destiny. Well, sure, there was some element of that, but a lot of manifest destiny was actually anti-European. Take the Spanish-American War, where the United States and their army of mulattoes, that's what they were. They had Cuban mulattoes and the Buffalo Soldiers from America attacking the Spanish, who were outnumbered 10-1 in all of their battles, and they still barely won. So that's actually, like, manifest destiny is not cut and dry. It's not binary, white conquest of the stars or whatever. A lot of it is just American sphere of influence building, including against Europe, which is why, like, when he says manifest destiny, we're gonna fight Denmark over Greenland. That actually is not a wrong use. It's not like that's how manifest destiny was coined before.
But you're right, though. I mean, when you think about manifest destiny, when was the peak of manifest destiny? I mean, that was what? Like the late 19th century? I mean, When was the phrase coined?
Yeah, it was in the 19. It was mid to late after the Civil War.
Yeah, 1845 was the first time it was used, and then a little later, and the word annexation. Okay, so the thing is, when Manifest Destiny, when that became when that was a concept, America was existing in a totally multipolar world, and America was actually like a second or third rate power. So, if you're right that's a retreat. Actually,
Yes.
I mean, if you're talking about Panama Canal and Greenland and all this and Canada, you're giving up on NATO.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big step
Yes.
back. I mean, America, we Manifest Destiny. Oh, we explored and conquered a continent at a time when the world was dominated by France, England, Germany, Spain, and America was not even like not until World War I was it even a major thing. So
Right.
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, because that's something that's bound up with that idea of Manifest Destiny, shrinking America's sphere of influence down to just this hemisphere. Yeah.
Totally.
See, it's not presented that way. It's
No.
presented as an expansionist thing, but it represents actually a
shrinking.
major, like pulling back, circling
Yes.
the wagons.
I think Trump is getting people ready for this because they're gonna give it a go. They're gonna try everything in their power to preserve the global empire. But the fact is, just like we've been talking about for a year, and everyone insults us, everyone attacks us, but never disputes us. It's not feasible. Okay,
Yeah.
You're gonna live in a multipolar world where Russia will be probably their sphere of influence will be Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
once America is done looting everything that's not nailed down or behind glass in Europe,
Yeah.
they're going to have no choice but to reconcile with Russia. And honestly, that's going to be a great moment for the white race.
Yeah.
You know, in Asia, the same story. Now,
Yeah.
will they leave some nasty sour grapes behind? Like giving South Korea nukes or something? Probably. I can see Trump's administration giving like Saudi Arabia, South Korea nuclear programs. You're going to see that as sour grapes. But other than that, it's over, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, there are some problems also with Manifest Destiny. I mean, Manifest Destiny was, you had a totally unspoiled, look at the paintings of Albert Bierstadt. You have this giant continent of natural wonders and resources and no other powers on Earth anywhere close where they can intervene or fight you for it. I mean, the closest thing is, Mexico, the Mexican emperor that we had there briefly. And it's like, this ain't the 19th century. I mean, the question becomes then, let's say they do that. Do the Jews hold on to power in the United States without their global, I mean, do they depend on their global empire to maintain themselves here?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because it's like, how do they keep it? How do they keep their power here if they lose this vast global empire?
A very good question.
I mean,
which is
I don't
why
know.
I think Israel, no matter what, is not long for this world. No matter what victories they win in the moment, or they say, "Oh, look how we're always ahead, one step ahead," or whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, having this like fake country built solely to scratch your narcissistic itch
Yeah.
is not tenable in the
Yeah.
long term.
Let's look at the let me go back to the list here. So some of the stuff, so one thing, let's for 1 second I want to talk about the pardons, because there's first of all, obviously, I mean, I was talking to Emily about this, and I was saying that, like, yes, it's good. I'm glad these people are out of prison, all the January 6ers, of course, and I posted an article, and we were posting on the NJP website
Yeah.
the day of or 2 days after we were advocating for these people. I did a show on Modern Politics called Betrayed and Murdered about the January 6th people. And at that time that I did the show, I showed how Ashley Babbitt was not mentioned. Her name was not mentioned by Donald Trump until almost 2 years after January 6th, when it became clear that it would be politically advantageous for him to mention her name. People forget what he said after January 6th about the people. The second, that's the first point, is that we were advocating for those people long before it ever occurred to Trump. Now, we have no power to do anything about it, so, yes, and Trump pardoned them. Good. Second point, though, is all those people were in prison specifically because of Donald Trump.
Yes.
So, he told
And
them to go do this.
He could have pardoned them all in advance.
Well, that's the third thing. Let me get
Yeah.
to that. The second point, because the second point is a big one, is that they were all in prison explicitly for him, not for, America, not for, policy, not for. They trusted him. He said, we're going to march on the Capitol. They marched on the Capitol. He went and watched it on television, and once they all got in trouble, he said, oh, I don't know, these are criminals, et cetera, et cetera. So there's that. The third point is that he could have pardoned them all preemptively. And, people would say, well, that's not realistic for him to have done that. Again, in that show I did like 2 years ago, Betrayed and Murdered, I went through, Joe, all the precedents that were set of preemptive pardons by various presidents. Reagan, I think, did it. George H.W.
Biden just did it.
Well, that's the biggie. That's what I was getting ready to say, is that anyone who thinks that that's not feasible, Joe Biden, literally on the same day, actually did it. Huge, broad, generalized pardons, all the members of his family, guys like Fauci.
And he pardoned, Joe Biden pardoned Leonard Peltier, who was in prison for killing 2 federal agents.
Did he pardon Peltier?
Yeah, he pardoned him. You should have watched when Ryan Grimm got the news.
I love Joe Biden now.
Right, when Ryan Grimm got the news live on air, you know how he's very stoic in German? He was like, Leonard Peltier has just been pardoned. He was like,
I didn't hear about this. Oh, well, my dad's going to go nuts. He's a huge
He wasn't pardoned. He was
Peltier fan.
for all the pedantic people out there.
Oh, he commuted his
sentence.
sentence.
Commuted. Okay.
Yeah,
This guy shot 2 federal agents. That's based. He got away with it.
Wow.
Not saying it's based to do that. Never mind. Sorry, he was set up.
Yeah. Well, and he says he didn't do it. And you watch the documentary. I mean, listen, in fairness to Leonard Peltier, it's very possible it was just a horde of Indians that shot his head, and he got the blame for it. I mean, seriously, I've looked at Dad has made me watch many documentaries of Leonard Peltier. He's a big Leonard Peltier fan, and we sit and watch them together. And the case is very strong that it was other members shot them, possibly, or maybe he was shooting at them for sure. He doesn't even claim that, but yeah, he was shooting at them.
You can't trace when you shoot someone with a bow and arrow. It's very hard to find the trajectory.
But it's very when you read about it, it's a classic case, Joe, of them not like they didn't have a strong case against this guy. They got thrown out and they were pissed, so they stuck everything on him. Classic case of the 2 FBI men are killed. Somebody's going away.
Someone has to pay.
Someone has to
make
pay.
examples. Right?
Yes, exactly. So there's that. Well, now I can't say a bad word about Joe Biden. What am I going to say?
I mean, not for nothing. It's weirdly radical for him to do that.
Yes, that is.
Like that. That's a huge middle finger to the feds.
It is. That's a huge middle finger to the feds.
It's kind of like I don't know what to make of that.
I don't either. Maybe they're just pissed that maybe Biden's pissed that after all his service to the feds that they're just throwing everything now behind Trump. Who knows? But whatever it is, that's good news.
Trump also pardoned Ross Ulbricht, who, I mean, that one was another weird one. That was the guy that used to run the darknet drug den.
Oh.
Where you can buy like You can buy like heroin and fentanyl on the internet.
Oh, wow. Well, Trump's
So,
his original pardons, and I pointed this out on my show that I did at the time, and I just pointed it out again. He could have done preemptive pardons for all the January 6ers. The reason he didn't was not that it didn't occur to him, or that he didn't know that he could do it, or whatever. The reason he didn't is because at the time, and everyone forgets this, he was busy throwing his own supporters under the bus
Yes.
to avoid legal trouble himself. And for sure, that's what his attorneys
Right.
were telling him at the time. He pardoned this guy. He pardoned this guy. Horrible white-collar Jew.
He
when
pardoned,
he wasn't.
I believe he pardoned Bannon in advance as well.
Yeah, he did all these pardons when he was before he left office. So he was still in office for days and days, like 2 weeks after January 6th, and he could have preemptively pardoned all these people, and they all would have not suffered what they did. He didn't do it, and like I said, at the time we were defending those people with the NJP. He was trying to put as much distance as possible between himself and his own followers.
Here's me pissing all over people celebrating this. First of all, the over 99% of January 6 persons that were arrested, they've been booked, they went to jail, they were convicted, and they're out. Okay, because it was 4 years ago. Most of them got not light, but they got sentenced for a few years. The exceptions, of course, are Enrique Tarrio and Stuart Rhodes. But the second thing is,
We'll talk about them in a second. Yeah.
all your pardons. You know how many people that were targeted in this dragnet committed suicide, had their lives ruined, all this because what Trump told them to do.
What about James Fields? What about?
And then you have that, right? What about Robert Rundo? Robert Rundo? Trump's Department of Justice was the one that prosecuted him.
Yes, the father and son team of the McMichaels, like those two, deserve a president. They actually deserve a presidential pardon, and the reason they're not going to get it is because Trump doesn't care about white victims of this fucking criminal Jew Merrick Garland, justice system. These were people that were loyal to him personally, and that's what I said, is that it would be insanely unjust and unfair for him not to pardon them. It's like, yeah, he did a terrible thing telling these people to go and not backing them up. He did an even more terrible thing, not standing up for them in the moment, not advocating them for taking years before he finally stood up for them, and not pardoning them when he had the chance. So now he makes good on a thing that he did. He makes good on it, and all of a sudden he gets all kind of credit. This is the big final one. Every January 6th prisoner Donald Trump did not pardon.
Wow.
Now, this is really, really interesting. This is Newsweek. Dad actually found this. He sent it to me.
Interesting. I thought he pardoned everyone.
14 of those involved listened to those, but were not pardoned. Instead, had their sentences commuted, meaning those incarcerated could be released from prison. The interesting thing about this is, he's not like it's still sending the message that these people are insurrectionists. It's just saying that they're not going to be doing the thing. We have Elmer Stewart Rhodes, Oath Keepers. I think did Enrico Tarrio, did he have his sentence commuted, or was he? I didn't see him on this list. Or was he actually pardoned? The Florida chapter of the Oath Keepers. So these people are not getting the pardon. And again, this sends an important message, because it's like, the sentence commuted is good, but it's just sending the message, Zog is still saying, okay, you did this. You conspired.
Well, to be fair, I think at this point we're kind of looking the gift horse in the mouth. Because these people were going to die in prison. They got like 25 or 30 years. So whether they're pardoned or commuted is not really that valuable.
That's true. That's true. I still think.
Hey, I'll give Trump credit for that. I thought my assumption was that Trump would pardon all the people that were prosecuted and then did their prison time, and it'd be some useless thing like that. But to be fair, Trump pardoned the people that needed the pardon and the commutations. So good for him on that. I'll say it.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
Of course, he was the one that sent them in, right?
Yes, that's my point. That's my
Nevertheless.
point. And that's what I'm saying is the precedent set by this is still like, you know, it's like a warning. The other thing is
The
what does it
Ayatollah
say-
Khomeini pardoned all the people that rioted and tried to overthrow his government, thousands of them.
What does it
So
say
it's not even
about-
like this is some great moment that is unprecedented. Like
Well,
everyone,
the other thing is this. What does it say about our criminal justice system? That the stuff that these people were put through over the last 4 years, and now it's like it's all forgotten. And you have Biden at the same time doing all the pardons of his family. I think that this flurry of pardons, and it's weird because it all happened in one day. It was literally Biden. Some of these pardons, he actually I think did it on the 20th, before he left office. Like in the last few. I could be wrong about that, but I think a couple of these pardons, like the sweeping pardons of his family, were in the last few hours before he left office. And then Trump comes in and pardons all these guys. You know, one of the things that this does contribute to is the idea that there is no such thing as justice in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
That it's
everyone's
just
saying that. I've seen Jews even talk about, from both the perspective of Biden and Trump, that they should take away the power of presidents to pardon.
well, because it creates the impression that as long as you're loyal to one guy or one
Right.
camp or one faction over another,
Banana Republic shit.
yeah, and if you happen to be on the wrong side of a changing of the guard, I mean, this was a thing.
Right.
You know, there was a thing.
AKA Schmidt, right? Carl Schmidt. That's how he says.
Yeah.
That's how he says every system works, and he's 100% right.
Yes. Yeah. Well. You know, I think I saw this in a film, The Last Samurai, or The Twilight Samurai, not The Last Samurai, not the one with Tom Cruise. The Twilight Samurai, great film. I don't know if this is true, but I remember seeing this, that when the one